With $200,000 now raised and a plan in place, it was time to turn this space into Focal House, but nothing went as planned. From inflated building costs to even running out of money halfway through the build. I had to use my trade experience and a few crazy ideas like a construction site warehouse rave. This is how I kept the dream alive. Welcome to episode 2, The Build. The initial vision. So from all the excitement, we started the demolition. I had to allocate $100,000 of the $200,000 straight to the builder. I had to do $50,000 to the landlord, like I said, as the bond. So I'd already started fretting about money from the jump. So we jumped in, had all my friends working. Trades were super busy at the time because it was after COVID and there was a huge spike. So people were back at work and it was really hard to get people to want to work. But I was busting my ass working 10 hours minimum every day. We demolitioned the whole building. It took twice as long as we expected. I think we had like 15 skip bins. There was so much crap and rubbish just from all the intermediate walls in the space to gut it. We needed to gut it completely before we could start the build. Start the journey. The build was like the most physical, strenuous, costly, stressful experience because it wasn't just like, okay, sweet, here's the money, let's get it done and pay the trades to do it. It was like, holy shit, we got to start saving money from the jump. Because I knew that by taking that $50,000 out of it that I had to go to the bond, that already threw a spanner in the works. So then I had $50,000 for everything else. Sounds like a lot of money, but it's not in a 600 square meter warehouse space, buying all the materials, paying the tradies, setting up the company structure, setting up the website, setting up marketing, advertising, filming, all the workers myself. From the jump, I knew that this was going to be such a hard experience, but I was already in. I had the key. We'd started the demolition, and now the real work begins. At this point, all I had to do was think what I could do myself to save money. I had my brother, David, working, had anybody and everybody that could help me on site. I was calling in friends. I was putting on slabs of beer. I was like, come after work, come after hours. Using my own skills, I can pretty much do anything, like within reason, like typical building stuff. I was polishing the concrete myself. We did all the demolition. We did everything. I was working and busting my ass every single day. Because I had that experience, I was able to utilize that. And it felt good to be able to be saving money, knowing that there's this ticking time bomb in the back of my mind. I was like, wow, we needed money to finish the build. We needed money to launch this company. So any dollar that I could save, I was saving. And yeah, having that trade experience was the one thing that got me over the line. So some of the challenges that we faced were the price of concrete being inflated because of COVID and on a high demand, the price of steel. So steel inside the walls that we had to erect these like, for instance, this room is like sound engineered. This live room and the Nightfall sound studios are totally up to about $80,000, nearly $100,000 rooms because of the walls. It was an empty warehouse space. They're 200 series, big concrete core blocks. Inside them had to be steel. So the price of the concrete to fill it, the price to build it, the price of every single thing just for this one room, for instance, and the fact that this room was meant to be half the size and in the other studio. Once we started the demolition, we found out that there was this structural pole right in the center of the room that was going to stop the sound treatment of the room. So the room went from like 10 square meters to 25 to 30 square meters. So everything in that price jump there doubled. The cost of all of it, as soon as I knew I had to make that decision, and then going, okay, cool, now I'm building these walls to make these rooms. Now we're going to make a mezzanine above it. I was scratching my head thinking, yeah, we're going to make these decisions purely on the fact that we couldn't pull that pole out. And then the inflated prices, the inflated extra bricks, the extra concrete, the extra labor to do it. My cousin Christian coming in as an engineer helping out, like it was just chaos, pure chaos, and just realizing how deep I really was. But there's a Winston Churchill quote, I think it goes, when you're in hell, you might as well keep going. Don't give up when you're in the depths of it. Like, what's the point? You're already in hell. So just keep pushing, get through, and you can come out the other side. I was like, I'm already in. I've got the space. The builders are doing stuff. And I was like, how can I make this work? I was like, you know what? I just believe in this place. The fact that I was able to raise that money at the start, I knew that would be able to raise more money. That was the start. That was the start of a new cycle of thinking of, okay, I'm going to do the things that need to be done, and then I'll have to find more money to finish it. Fast forward to about 4 to 6 months into the build. We'd been demolitioning everything. We've been building stuff. I've been buying stuff ahead of time, allocating money to certain areas. And I have a moment where I was lying on my back in a mattress in the middle of a demolition site, because only downstairs was started construction and upstairs was still just a demolition work site. I was laying on my mattress on the back in a room upstairs, just laying there thinking, I've run out of money. I'm halfway through this huge project, thinking that the money that I had allocated will be able to pull it off. It just flat out wasn't. The inflated costs, the extra trade work, what am I going to do to make this happen? What do I need to do? What about launching the business? What about launching the website? What about bookkeepers, accountants? What about setting all these things up? I was fucked. For no other word I couldn't think of. I just started thinking of ways. Who would be interested? I've got a lease. I've got a building half built. I've got the plans to do it, and I've got future projections for what this business could make. Bella, my partner, and I were laying there, and I was like, who's got money and who would value what we have? Not just about the money, who would see the value in this? So we were like, why don't we just get dressed up in our best outfit, go to Marina Mirage, walk up to some dude in a Ferrari and pitch it to him. I'll print out some documents, let's go. Let's bring him here. So let's do it. So that was like the idea, that was the concept for a while. Who's got the money and who would see the value and who would want to be a part of it, and who's got money, where are they? We're like, let's go to Marina Mirage. I'm like, babe, I will pull over anybody, G-Wagon, whatever. I'll start talking. At the same time, I was meeting investors, putting together pitch documents, having people come through. I had multiple people come through and see the space. People going, wow, this is big. And seeing the whole place demolished and how far it still had to go, and the fact that we had no money was a hard pill to swallow. It was a stressful time. I found myself working as a tradie again. So I was having the trades on site working what they needed to do. I'd leave it, like I'd set them up, then I'd leave and do like a 6, 8 or a 10-hour day out on a construction site doing plumbing. I was pouring concrete slabs. I was doing anything and everything that I could, because there was a work demand in the construction sites on the Gold Coast at the time. I was building retaining walls. I was like hiring excavators with my brother in Canada and going out and redoing lawns and fixing sewer systems and doing whatever I could to get money. And then I'd come back and I'd pay the tradies. Then I'd do it again, but I'd work night shift after that as well. So I'd work, bust my ass all day at work, get the money, pay the tradies. Then I'd work till 9, 10, 11, 12 at night and wake up the next day and do it all again. I had to do whatever it took to get the money. And yeah, that was the struggle. Only the people that ever came here really saw what was really going on. It was like physically draining, mentally stressful, and the fact that I didn't have my original business partner that was meant to launch the company, set up the structure, set up the hiring system, the booking system, the calendars, the payment systems, how the actual business is going to work. I'm over here setting up the physical side of things, but then there's like the marketing, the exposure side. And then once those people are interested to book, they have to go into a system to be able to help them to get what they really want out of the space that they're going to hire. Are they going to use it? Or are we going to get more productions? I'd stop doing any other work. All I could do was work here. So I was just in this crazy position. I just remember that day laying on my back, like, I'm screwed. So I was doing construction work and it was making some money, kind of just enough to pay the trades, but we needed more money. I was in a really bad position. I felt like I was potentially going to let a lot of people down. I had ingrained into me that I wasn't going to fail. Like, you only lose when you either give up or it gets taken away from you, and I wasn't going to let that happen. So with my consistent, relentless pursuit of trying to find someone who'd be interested, walking people through, working through the day, doing whatever I could to get the money, I ended up finding a girl by the name of Jessie. She was a friend of mine. She came through, and her and a few other people saw the value in it, and she committed. She said, I see what you're trying to create here, and I want to back that. So thanks to her, she came to the party with another $100,000. Some people might be afraid of talking about the money with these kinds of projects, but it takes money to make the world go round, and I don't know why people are scared to talk about it. I couldn't have done this without them, and they wouldn't have had this opportunity without me. So I'm more than happy to say these kinds of things because it's important, right? It's like, why is money taboo? So she invested, she came through, and that money helped us to pay all the rest of the tradies, get all the website stuff done, get everything and anything done that we needed to get done. That was the finishing floors, that was furniture, that was everything to get us all the way up to final construction, pay the trades, get everything totally dialed in so that we could finally launch this company. And that was still another 3 months from that process. So I was working trade, doing this, working that, setting up the company, doing photo shoots, getting to know people, and setting the whole process on the right track again. And yeah, thanks to everybody who backed me, because without them, it literally wouldn't have worked. Without that money, we wouldn't have even launched. And after, I only had 3 months of rent free. So after the 3rd month of construction, we did construction for 8 months. So I paid rent for 5 months through the build, not making any money. So things were tight from the start, to say the least. So we rushed and we clutched and we worked and we set a date and we pushed and we refined and we filmed and we shot and we got marketing, we got the website, we got everything ready, the branding, the whole thing. This big, triumphant 15 hours a day, every single day, no sleep. I was living here at the time. I lived for the whole process. I had to cut any costs wherever I could. I had to do everything to make this place come to be. So introducing now the building. It's done, it's finished, it's ready to go. So next phase is the launch. So episode 3 is going to be a breakdown of what it took to get it ready. That last 24 hours, literally 5 hours before we launched, we were still screwing in like jit rock in the ceiling in one of the rooms out the front. So yeah, stay tuned for episode 3, more to come. Thanks for watching.